Good day, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I am your first presenter, Miss Ignacio, to discuss the basic concept and principles in educational assessment. Based on my knowledge upon analyzing this topic, the primary purpose of educational assessment is to evaluate the students' output performances and the effectiveness of the teaching process. And before we go further, I will first read the definition of what is an assessment. Educational assessment is the process of documenting, usually in measurable terms, knowledge, skills, attitudes, and beliefs. It is a tool or method of obtaining information from tests or other sources about the achievement or abilities of individuals. Besides a purpose for improving student learning and development, assessment can be used in a variety of ways. First is to facilitate instructional function. It specifies the strengths and weaknesses of instruction and the needs and problems of the students which must be addressed. Second, to facilitate administrative and supervisory functions. To the curriculum planners, the result of assessment can give them hard facts as basis for revising and enriching the curricula. It is the example of the absorption of the K-12. Third is to foster better parent-teacher relationship. Assessment is a means by which teachers can keep the parents informed of the progress made by their children. Now we are in our main topic, the basic concept and principles of assessment. So what is really a principle of assessment? It is a set of guidelines that you need to consider in order to determine if a test is really effective, and you are not just conducting it. You have to make sure that the assessment is happening, not just performing a test. Test. So let's define test. What do we mean by test? A test is a tool to measure a trait. A test is a procedure to determine the performance of an individual. So we say procedure, meaning it's a step-by-step process. It's not just a yes or no. It needs to measure any characteristic, ability, knowledge, or skill, and it comprises of the items in the area, and it is designated to measure. The best example for this is that Miss Ignacio is administering a test to her students. Simple as that. Now, the measurement. When we say measurement, it is basically talks about the scoring. But when we say measurement also, what comes to our mind is that it is a set of numbers. It consists of anything numerical. Yes, it is, but it has to be the right numbers for the right objects. Since in measurement, you are assigning numerical value to a given trait, performance skills of a student. Evaluation. When you are doing evaluation to a student, you are not changing anything that he gets as a result from his works, exams, or tests. You are only doing decision making if he is able to achieve those objectives by the numerical data that you have, and it can be pass or fail. But let us differentiate measurement to evaluation. Remember what I said in measurement, here you are giving a score to a given trait, while in evaluation, you are giving a meaning to a numerical value based on a set of criteria. Example here is, the student score is 8/10. The measurement is 8 since it is the result. And if you are going to evaluate that 8, what does it mean? Since it's a pass, you can describe it as pass or satisfactory. Simple as that. Now is the assessment. It refers to the collecting, organizing, and analyzing data using statistical tools to arrive at valid results. Here you are grading students. It is also a collection, interpretation, and use of qualitative and quantitative information to assist teachers in their educational decision making. Example is, Mr. Francisco is computing all the final grades of the students after completing all their requirements. That's it. Now we are in the last part of this presentation, the assessment-related principles. Educational assessment always begin with educational values and standards, and it should lead to student learning, and the result of assessment must be feedback to the learners. It motivates students as they know they will be evaluated at the end of each course. A feedback of their own performance which they can use to improve their knowledge and skills further. And teachers must consider the learner's learning style and multiple intelligences and so must come up with a variety of ways in assessing learning. It means a teacher is responsible for promoting quality and valuing diversity with their learners. And all students will have access to opportunities and therefore can achieve. It must ensure that a learner completes initial assessment activities so any individual learner needs are identified and can be met. And last, assessment system should lead educators to help students attain the educational goals, values, and standards. And that's all for my presentation of basic concept and principles in educational assessment. And I hope you gain knowledge from me. Thank you for listening.